This is Pace the Nation.
When you climb up that hill, well, eventually you'll come down. If the wind's at your back, you never wear a frown. You're waiting on that second wind to begin to kick in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Pace the Nation, broadcasting back here at Studio 1A in downtown Arlington, Virginia. We are back in the heart of all things, of course, that is Clarendon. This is episode number 265. I'm your host, Chris Farley. Back again. I am at the home studio by myself, across the county, west of me, my wife, Julie Culley, my co-host. Julie, what's up?
I'm so impressed that you knew I was west of you. Great
Well,
work.
you're in West
getting-
Arlington.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a
I wouldn't
dead
have
giveaway.
known that. I
Big
would not have
updates.
known that.
Big updates. I'm in West Arlington.
Yes,
So.
yeah. Well, we're going to get you back in the studio soon, very soon. We are tweaking a lot of the behind the scenes. You hear the new music. We've got Chris working all the production for us and John doing some music. And I think we're to the point where we can be back together, have a seamless operations. Not that it's ever not seamless, but a seamless operation together back in the studio. I'm looking forward to that.
Have you asked your co-host if she wants to be back together in the studio with you? Or is like,
Yeah.
this is actually a really good setup. We've got separation. We've got our own privacy,
We-
our own
you know,
thing going on. I
We
can
don't
always
really
like
even
just
talk. We
hit
don't
the-
really even talk.
hit the close button on the
Right.
browser if things get out of control.
This is truly pull back the curtain. We don't really even talk. So this is the first time we, we actually talk, because the things we talk about is where the kids going, what's going on, all that stuff. And so, yeah, so we'll have to work that out over the podcast and when we're recording.
We'll schedule some
yeah.
time to talk
All
about
right.
it.
So we could schedule some time. We got a big show today, Julie, and we'll get to our guests. We got two guests, really excited about our guests who are doing really inspiring things. But before we do that, some really big news, probably that you didn't even realize was big news in my life. Speaking of lack of communication, but today, as we record February 2nd, 2022, I was paralyzed this morning, riveted to this breaking news of what the Washington football team, my lifelong love affair with the Washington football team, has been well documented on this team, on this show. They changed their name.
Mm.
And they were now the Washington Commanders. They were the Washington Redskins, Washington football team for 2 years, Washington Commanders. And I've gone through a roller coaster of emotions through this morning, and really
Was
couldn't
it
get anything
really
done.
through this morning though? Because last night you told me that the Washington Commanders were going to be called the Washington Commanders today.
Yeah.
So it's obviously been leaked.
Yes, it definitely was the worst kept secret in Washington, D.C., at least in my world. There's probably a lot of people who are like, what are you talking about? A lot of people listen to us all over the country. What are you talking about? What's the NFL football team changed their name? Yeah. So I guess I shouldn't have been surprised or disappointed. You're correct.
Do you remember what I said to you this morning when you came in and you said, it's official. We are the Washington Commanders. What did I say?
Much like a lot of other things when we have conversation, I probably wasn't listening that well.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure. What did you say?
I said, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig.
They got to win. There's no
So
doubt.
here we are, lipstick on a pig.
No doubt.
We've got Washington on its third name in 3 years?
3 years. Yep. You're right.
And we're trying to dress it up.
Yep.
We're going to get all the gear, but we're
Yeah.
still
Oh,
going
we
to
will
have
get all the
we're still
gear.
going to have the same owner
Yeah.
and the same coach
Yep.
and the same players. and
Same
the
mediocre
same
team is what you're saying.
mediocre facility that's not in Washington, D.C.
Correct. Same mediocre stadium that is impossible to get in and out of. You're right.
Lipstick
Okay.
on a pig.
Okay. All right. So you
But
really
we
don't-
will spend thousands of dollars on
the
gear for our
for sure.
family.
If it's not there by 6 o'clock tonight,
Oh my
if
goodness.
it's not there by 6 o'clock tonight, I'll be disappointed. Yeah, Julie, I know you don't have a problem with Commanders, really. That's not the problem. It's just your problem is
No,
the
sounds great.
product. The product.
I get a little weary of all the excitement around something that it's just like I work in marketing, right? It's just
Right, right.
branding and marketing, and that's what just happened. We just got
Yep,
really excited about a product. It's still the exact same
right.
product.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably
The
right.
deliverable hasn't changed.
You're right. You're right. Well, I don't know. I think it was appropriate to lead off the show. Everybody knows how I feel about the NFL football franchise here in DC. So it was big
I'm
news.
excited for you. I am
Thank you.
excited for you. I'm excited for you to have a big day on 2
Thank you.
2
Two.
2 2. This big announcement came out.
Yep.
So
Yep.
congratulations. I'm going to give you the win for the
Thank you.
day.
Congratulations to me. Yeah, I really appreciate this is like a thank you speech. I appreciate everybody reaching out to me. I heard from Kathy this morning. I heard from Andrew. I heard from Chris. I heard from JC. He said, I thought it was going to be the Washington Pacers. He was disappointed. Sorry, JC. I
I'm
was
disappointed
disappointed too.
too.
Yeah. I heard from Bill. I heard from King. I heard from all these people.
Who know
They were
how
really interested
significant
in
this
my,
moment is.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
it's a
appreciate.
big moment for you.
I heard from
You've
your
worked hard
boss.
for this. You
I
have
have.
earned this.
Yeah, your boss Matt reached out to me as well. So everybody, thank you for your concerns in reaching out to me. Washington Commanders. All right, so we'll transition from the new Washington Commanders into our guests for today. Really excited to have the founders and leaders of the running group We Off the Couch, Anthony and it's Tara Clary.
Tara.
Tara Clary. I'm going to get that wrong. I've got a sister-in-law named Tara and then an employee named Tara. So it's Anthony and Tara Clary from the Richmond running group, We Off the Couch. They are a Richmond running group that is helping enrich and help people live their best lives in the inner city of Richmond. They're going to tell us all about it. Anthony, Tara Clary, next up here on Pace the Nation.
Pace the Nation is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
A local running group is actively helping people live their best lives. In today's Our RVA, Candace Burns shows us how a health scare led to many life transformations.
We're making salad.
It's dinner time at the Clary house.
We used to eat the iceberg lettuce, so we get the romaine or the spinach, the blend mix, and I love it.
Here, vegetables are a staple on the menu for Anthony and his wife Tara.
I love bell peppers.
Mindful eating wasn't always Anthony's priority.
It's deep because I really started valuing it once I saw the change. I was like, okay, so this goes with the change. So this works together. So let me figure out how to enjoy my salad.
The healthy change started after a warning delivered by the doctor.
Kind of scared me. You know, he was like, yeah, man, so you pre-diabetic.
That was in 2014. A lot is different now, including Anthony's weight.
I think I was about 3, pressing 3. You know, I was big. My biggest shirt size was a 4X, and my biggest pant size was a 44.
Today, he's just a little over 200 pounds.
I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit too small. Let me come back up.
I was like, you're getting a little bit too skinny.
His transformation helped him develop a new passion.
I'm gonna keep running. And I was like, man, this running thing is, okay, this is it.
And his hobby is inspiring others.
Stay tight!
They call themselves
We're off the couch!
At first,
Good job, guys!
friends started running with him.
It originally started with like 3 to 5 people, like a college buddy or two, a friend.
Then strangers joined.
You know, I'm so fortunate and grateful. I went out there not knowing anybody, and as soon as I was there, you know, it's a big circle.
I needed that encouragement, and because I was only by myself.
Community
And nobody's ever left behind.
is important to Anthony.
I think everywhere I go, I just want people to feel loved.
He needed to feel that same kind of love in 1999.
I think about that guy every day. When I was 17 years old, my brother was robbed and killed in Hillside Court. He was 20 years old, named James. And that rocked me to my core.
During that difficult time, he found refuge and support at a neighborhood church.
Those people loved me through the amount of hurt and trauma that I had already experienced even before my brother's death, and that really, it just changed the way I saw the world.
Now, the social worker is dedicated to uplifting others.
Everybody's dealing with something.
His running group helps him deliver his message.
Encouraging each other, and everybody we see on the street, we're encouraging the same way. Like, you out here, you gonna get this today. You got everything you need tucked down on the inside.
A growing group of runners making impactful change thanks to the healthy choices and inspiration of the now fit man who started it all.
I think it makes me happy. It makes me just glad on the inside that people can come together, on one thing and just move in unison together. We want people to see that they matter.
All right, welcome back to the program. And now, Julie, we are excited to be joined on camera, on audio. We've got both of the founders of We Off the Couch. We got Anthony and Tara Clary. Anthony, Tara, how are you guys?
We're great. Thank you guys for having us today.
Oh, fantastic. Tara, you there? How you doing?
You okay, Lo?
Fixing her audio. We're gonna bring her in just a moment here. But we are super pumped to have you guys on the program. You guys are doing awesome stuff. Really just down the road from us in Richmond, Virginia. And We Off the Couch is just an incredible group that you guys started probably just 2 years ago. Tell us about how'd you get started? Where'd the idea come from?
Well, it started back in, I would say, I think it was about 2015. I had a diabetic scare. I went to the primary care doctor, and he said, that I was pre-diabetic. Both of my parents are diabetic. And he basically told me, he said, if you didn't do X, Y, and Z or lose some weight, you were going to have to take these diabetic shots. So that led me into, some physical activity and trying to figure out what I could do to, transform my life. So I gave up sodas. Then that led into eating more healthy foods and different choices. And then I found, running. And I was like, man, this is it. This works. And, just the weight started pouring off. And, and it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks on a run one day. I was like, I have to share this with people, and I had a college teammate was running with me as well. And, he was saying the same thing. He was like, yeah, man, this really works. He said, I enjoy being out here, so, from 2 people, it was 5 people, and then it was like 70 plus people running behind Tara and I. And I think in the pandemic, when everything really was hitting us, is when everybody really started to come out, because I think we needed something.
Yeah.
Tara, what would you say?
Yeah, I would second, everything that you're saying. Like, I think the pandemic revealed not only how much we need each other, we need physical fitness and things to stay active and healthy, but just that sense of community and belonging, because the pandemic isolated everyone so much. So to be able to come outside and get some fresh air, while social distancing, obviously, and, doing everything that we needed to do to stay safe, we still had the opportunity to gather as a group.
So, all right. So, Anthony, you said a teammate of yours. Now, I know Tara was a runner. Your teammate was not a running teammate. You were more of a football player before you got into this running thing.
When I first was introduced to football, I played in rec. I played like 1 year of rec football. That was a big escape for me. And then when I got to high school, I played ball there. And then I played football in high school. I was able to go to a Division II college down in Lawrenceville, Virginia. It's called St. Paul's College. And that gave me the shot that no other schools were willing to give me, because I didn't have the grades or the academics to attend their universities or colleges. But St. Paul's gave me that shot, and it changed my life.
And you were you weren't one of these slight, slim, 180-pound football players. You were a 300-pound defensive end, right?
Absolutely.
You look way different today.
Yep, I was a big guy, man. I was a big guy. I think when I got to college, they they just preached, carbs, carbs, carbs,
Yeah.
lift weights. And, I got bigger, but when we got married, I just kept eating. I didn't work out, so all the weight just really stacked on then, and yeah, it was just one thing after the other, and it was just where I didn't need to be, you know.
So both of you guys are from the same area in Richmond. Um,
Yeah.
did you guys know each other in high school and college? Like, how did you guys first connect?
You
So
want to
the
go?
funny thing is,
Yeah.
like we tell each other stories of like, kids in the neighborhood. So like we were like one associate off. Like so we had mutual friends growing up. And we were in and around the same circles. Like we even went to the same elementary school for a year, but we didn't know each other. Um, Ended up going to different middle schools, even though he was zoned for the same middle school as me. And then the same high school, we were supposed to go to the same high school. But it all started because unfortunately Anthony's brother got murdered over in a neighboring community of Hillside. And that led him to come into a youth group that I was attending at Richmond Christian Center at the time. And so that's where I got to know him. We became like the best of friends and started doing music and poetry and things together, and just had that positive outlet, for Anthony was life changing. And yeah.
So Anthony, your brother gets murdered when you're how old? A
I was
teenager, right?
17. I was 17 years old. Yep. And
17 years old.
yep,
And
17 years old.
he was murdered in the community where you guys, I mean, relatively close to the community where you guys live and you have your
Absolutely.
runs. And
Absolutely.
why did you why I mean, why stay in this community when you have, a history like that?
Well, I know for me, when I graduated, when I went away to college, I said to myself, I'm never coming back. There's nothing for me here. There's, I don't understand why I would need to come back. And the first thing I did when I graduated from college was went back.
Hmm.
And it kind of rocked me to my core, because I said to myself, I've found a sense of peace now. I found comfort in my life. Why would I just run away with that? Why would I just run away with that and not uh, look back and give back, and not look back and burn the bridge that I came across? So that's always, I think, been Terranauts' hearts, is to be here in our community, and understanding that, if there's issues, and there's lots of issues in our community, right? But if there's issues, why not try and aim to be a solution? So like that's always been our heart. So that's why we're here. Yeah, we grew up right here, in what's called Manchester now, but when we were younger, it was called Blackwell. It was all projects, and then you have Blackwell, the Oak Grove community, which are homes, and then you have Hillside Court, which is also projects. So so I lived in Blackwell pretty much all of my life. Then my parents moved to Oak Grove, so we lived there. And then my brother was passing through Hillside Court, and Tara lived in Oak Grove at this time too. But my brother was passing through Hillside Court. He and a friend, and a guy had just lost all his money in a dice game that night, and he said he had to get somebody. So my brother ended up being a victim. So he shot my brother's friend. He shot my brother once in the back. Then he went and stood over top of him, and my brother was begging for his life. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'm not going to tell anybody. And he said, you think you're going to live to tell this one? And he shot him in his head. Then he ran across the tree, came back, and he shot him in his face. So for me, I've seen tough stuff always growing up, where I'm from. And the tough part about it, guys, is that you kind of become numb to it, almost desensitized. It's like, okay, this is this. And I'm a social worker now, and I read statistics all the time and just different things. And it's tough because growing up in some neighborhoods, especially where Tara and I are from, post-traumatic stress is almost equivalent to Army veteran, someone who's been overseas, and it's tough because we take this stuff that we experience and we tuck it away. as if it doesn't exist. So We Off the Couch meets a lot of things, but what we want to meet and what we absolutely have to meet is our community, is people. We have to see ourselves because we're almost forgotten about, as if like we don't exist. And it's like, no, people are here. People want to be loved. Um, there's so much greatness. There's so much greatness here.
So, Tara, you were a runner.
She is a runner.
Is a runner. We're a runner, but we're a runner where Anthony was not. So you go through all this. You're in your community. You want to bring your community together, and you've done that through running. Was it your idea then, because you were a runner, or was it combined? Like, how did this idea of running, getting off the couch, come to fruition?
I think I didn't really see myself, I guess, bringing this group together. I just really feel like it happened organically with Anthony's personality, and certainly I add my own flair, but I'm more of like the reserved one. So he just has like an infectious personality. Like, he's really passionate about what he's doing, and so it's easy for people, to want to be a part of it. So initially, when it started on Sundays, he would just run for like, therapy. Essentially, it's like pavement therapy. I just need to get out here and leave my thoughts on the pavement, as a social worker and everything. Like, he would do that, and he would invite a friend or two. And I'm like, hey, y'all are having fun. I want to come, let's see if your parents can keep the kids, because we have 4 kids. So, and it was just, it was encouraging to me as well, because I wasn't as active as I was used to being in high school. I was a track and field athlete throughout all of my high school years. I didn't do it in college, but really love mid-distance run, like the 400, 800 meter dash and things like that. I really enjoyed it. It was a form of therapy for me as well, coming up through high school, because as Anthony shared some of the traumas that he's faced, I grew up in a very dysfunctional, broken home, and so just to be able to kind of leave it on the pavement, it's just been really therapeutic for all of us. And so it's cool. Like, we invite people in. Doesn't matter like what your background is, or like if you're just starting, like, to walk, trot. I know that can be intimidating for many people. It's like, man, I'm not a runner, but I'm like, you can move, just show up, we'll support you. That's why we have several options for you for the beginner's run. We have an intermediate run. So just show up, and I bet you that you'll have fun. Like, you might not love running, but you'll love being around the people and just that camaraderie and sense of belonging.
Tell us about a success story, like that comes from We Off the Couch. Like, I'm sure you've had people who just come in as walkers or are scared to even just take that first step with you guys. Like, tell us one of your favorite stories.
I have one. You have one, babe?
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
No, you got it. You got one?
You guys are so polite to each other.
Yeah,
You should you'll hear the opener. Chris and I
the back and
bantering
forth us. I
together.
know. We're gonna learn something from these guys.
I
Julie.
know we are.
No, look, on that, honestly, we've been married. July will be 15 years. I have learned to listen. I have learned to
Chris hasn't learned that yet, so we have a lot to learn from you, Anthony.
But one of well, I think it's 2 of our runners. They're I think 40 something, and those 2 guys grew up in a neighborhood with another guy, and whereas we don't, like Tara said, we don't tell someone, or we don't say you have to be this size to run, you have to do this to run, you have to do that to run. And he came out. I want to say he started coming a year ago. And he came out and he just pushed through. He's about, I think he's about maybe 350 plus, or probably about 400 pounds. And he came out and he just moved with the pack. He wouldn't give up. He wouldn't stop. He listened to the encouragement. And he ran some, he walked some, he trotted some. And I mean, this particular route, we were up and down rolling hills, and he was moving with the whole crowd and just having fun. And I just recently spoke to another one of the members again, and I was asking, hey, where is he? Do we need to plan a route, in the neighborhood? And he's like, his work schedule has changed, but he always talks about how he wants to come out and that he's gonna come back. So for me, that, we have other success stories with people losing weight, different things like that. But for me, that's so exciting because I see myself there. I see other people there that don't think they are runners, don't think that that this will ever be something that they would ever do in their lives. And, people are coming out and they're breaking, barriers, they're dismantling things that, folks just wouldn't expect them to be doing it. And we're running down, streets, safely, of course, always on the left side. But we're running down streets and in the neighborhoods, and we're 70, 80 deep, and it's just all types of people. And it's like, what is going on? It's like we're here together and we're moving, and we're running. So I mean, that's tons of stories, babe. Do you have one you want to
Yeah, I
share?
was just gonna say, there's two individuals in particular that came to mind, whereas weight loss wasn't like that's the big hurrah, like everybody wants to lose weight, quote unquote. And this one is like I would say less like tangible success story where it's, hey, I feel like I've gained a big sister and a big brother. Like, this group has meant so much to me. This group has done so much for my mental and emotional health. That to me is huge
Yeah.
because we all need each other. And I'm so thankful to be a part of this group and just our generation in general. Like, I feel like we're taking on, just this conversation of mental health. And I think it's so wonderful, and so that to me just, it does my heart good to know that I'm making a difference in that way, that
So
somebody feels seen.
those examples of those people traditionally would not have joined a running club. And
Right.
inner city traditionally, there wasn't a running club in Richmond when you guys grew up. Is that changing? Can you guys change that?
I would say so. I think that by large and far, like, I think that unfortunately, like running has been an elitist sport. It's
Yep.
been reserved for the upper middle class whites, to be honest, because it's been accessible, because so many factors can determine like it's like if you can participate in the sport. You're talking about barriers to entry in many ways. You're talking about safe trails, dilapidated sidewalks that are still in our neighborhood, even though we have a new construction home. It's still, just those things like shoes. When someone's thinking about making it from point A to point B or living from paycheck to paycheck, they're not thinking about the extra curricular activity that's a healthy outlet. We're just trying to make it. We're just trying to survive. So you're not thinking about thriving. So
Right.
yeah, I
Mm.
think that, our group gives a voice to people who don't pace at a 6-minute mile.
Right.
They might
But we're pacing
be
together.
at a 10-minute mile,
Yep.
just cruising, just having a good time. Like, PRs are important, but like Anthony has said before, like the real PR is personal relationship. It's like getting to know people. Like, certainly we want to improve our running. We have goals like metrics and things that we can, kind of gauge how we're growing. But the real thing is, creating this group for those left out people.
Yeah,
And so
community.
we've seen these communities pop up. I mean, prolific in Charlottesville. It happens to be in, Julie and I live in Virginia, here in Northern Virginia. In Charlottesville, there's prolific. You guys in Richmond, which is just amazing. And it's a different group of runners. So the second part of my question is, can there be change? Can you guys lead in this change to have inner cities, individuals, young, middle-aged, old, see running as an outlet, as a place to find community?
Yes,
Absolutely, yes.
absolutely, absolutely. We're seeing it already. Like we're seeing it already. I think our oldest runner is I think he's 60 plus, and then we had a 72-year-old to come out, several times, and they're all just excited and they're encouraging each other and they're coming out, all the time. They're moving, and sometimes it shocks us because we're like, what? Like, wow, these are older people and they're moving.
Yeah, it's like a pack
So
of
I
people.
really think.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ann. Sorry, I got excited.
Go ahead, love. No, you got it.
No, I'm just gonna encourage. I feel like there's like at least about 6 or 7 of our members in their mid to upper 50s and not 60
Right.
that kind of pace together, and they've created like a little niche within the community. And I think it's wonderful. Like, they kind of just feed off the energy. Like, they feel welcome to, like, they're running races and they wouldn't have thought about running a race. Like, we just did the Frostbite 15K with the road runners, and it was crazy. It was insane. It was cold. It was like 23 degrees. But we had a good time, it was like, just all of us coming together. So
I
it was
love
good
it.
stuff.
What about from a youth perspective? Who are the youngest individuals who are coming out to runs?
Jonathan, he's 15. Or did he just turn 16? I think he just had a birthday. So yeah, he's our
I
youngest
think it
member
just took,
and
yeah,
he loves it.
yeah,
Do you guys
he
have
loves it.
designs
And then
or sorry, do you guys have designs of getting more involved in even younger ages with starting to affect in the elementary and middle and high school level?
Yes, I would say that that's definitely the goal to kind of like expand that, to even like bringing our kids out for a run because our youngest is 7. We have twins that are 9, and then our oldest is 13. And it's important for her to get moving. She's actually on the spectrum, autistic, and so she's kind of like moderate to like malfunction, I guess. Like so she can communicate, but sometimes with autism, like she has a tendency to overeat and so she struggles with her weight. So just to have her out there too and moving is so
That's
important.
awesome.
And it's encouraging for her, it's like,
yeah,
everybody's cheering for me, she gets really excited about that. But our kids really love to be a part of it. They get excited when they do come out. Honestly, we've kind of like reserved that run just to kind of like have mommy daddy time, but we do get them moving as well. But yeah, definitely, certainly like senior citizens. We're talking like maybe corporate, getting stationary workers moving. We want to see this really grow.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, just tomorrow I'm actually speaking. Sportsback is a nonprofit agency down here in Richmond
Hmm.
that puts on like pretty much all of the races here, a lot of them, and then you have a program of sportsbackers is called Kids Run RVA. And
Mm,
tomorrow I get to speak at the kickoff there and speak about the importance of the community and the children that we help in. So, like a lot of the kids are from, you know, uh, disenfranchised neighborhoods, inner city communities, and they don't have much. So, one of the main things that I'm gonna speak to, because I also, counsel, what they call at-risk youth, but I don't even like to call them at-risk youth. I just call them, kids who need somebody to be there for them,
mm.
somebody who's going to show up and be consistent. So I understand a lot, and I like to always tell people that you're not just like if you were building a building, right? You're not just building a building, you're building a community, right?
Mm.
Like so, if you're teaching someone to run, if you're teaching someone to be active, you're not just teaching them a sport, you're teaching them life.
Hmm.
So like things like that, are what really move us, and it's really cool because running is helping us to be able to do so much in our community that's just overlooked and is seemingly unimportant. So getting more involved and active with the kids is definitely on our hearts and is what we're aiming to do.
You are very inspiring, Anthony. I talked to you yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Not just
was
that, Chris got off the phone and was like,
I was like, this is the guy. Yeah,
he's
you
well,
are.
he's like, I feel like I want him to be my best friend. He's so
Terrace.
Hey,
he's
let's
so
go.
He said
excited.
it. I know. She said it.
He was
He's
like,
got that
"This guy
it.
is amazing." Yeah.
I wonder, like, I wonder how that happens. And some people just have it, and you kind of got it, which is fantastic. But are you driven by your past? I gotta imagine your brother dying when you're in your teenage years has
Yeah.
you could have gone one or two ways. I mean, is that a stretch to say you could have gone
Absolutely.
one or two ways and you went this way and now you're a social worker, you're helping these people and we off the couch. I mean, it's really incredible. And, I think we off the couch, could help. And it's, a big stretch, but instead of playing dice, they're running. Is that too much of
Yeah.
a stretch?
Absolutely. No, that's not a stretch at all. That's I'm gonna be honest with you. That's real life. That's real life. Like the route, like we have group tonight at 5:30, and the route that we take, we purposely run through our community. We don't shy away from our community. Why? Because we need to see each other. We need to see ourselves doing something other than what's been fed to us forever.
Hmm.
I'll be frankly honest with you guys. And I share it because I know there's so many other people like myself that may be same skin color as me, and they may be a totally different other skin color. But so many people have struggled with insecurities coming up as young kids. They told me, that I didn't have all the smarts to go to school. I couldn't go to college. They told me all of those things. And if I would have believed those things, right? If someone would not have come along, right, and said, Anthony, you are really this. Anthony, you can really be this, right? I would have believed those things that were said about me. And I'll be honest with you, I probably would be dead. The structure that's set up for me and where I come from, I'll either be dead or locked up, or on a corner somewhere in front of a corner store. Just being honest with you, I see so many of my friends and people I've grown up with on a corner store, and it breaks my at the corner store, and it breaks my heart. But yes, it's not far fetched. So it's important for us to run through our neighborhood. It's important for us to be in our community. It's important for us to be in every community, because if I think you mentioned earlier, Chris, if I had seen something like that when I was growing up, I probably would have never played football.
Right.
Because I love running so much. It would have probably hit then. But we need to see each other. It's very important that our children see us. It's very important that adults see us. I mean, we were doing, I think it was our 20-mile route, and we went from the south side of town through north side to east end, back to the west end. And so many older folks was like, man, what are you guys doing? Because it's like a lot of us just, like floating through the streets. And it's like, hey, man, we off the couch. And that's what we say to everybody. We off the couch. You should join us. Look us up on social media. It's a free run group, and everybody has space here. So come on out. It's safe. You can run. You can walk. You can do whatever you need to do. You're welcome here. So yeah, it's I like to. I think we tell the guys every time we meet that we're not just running. Like what we're really getting to do is do community. We're really getting to do life with each other. I think everybody has a sense of belonging, and everybody wants to know that they're loved, and I think what we do essentially is teach people how to love each other. We get to look past race, we get to look past economics, we get to look past everything that would show up and divide us, you know, um, you know, and it's like, hey, we're just running. Like running is like the great equalizer, and we're all there together, and we're doing what we do together, and it's a beautiful thing.
All right, last one from us here, guys. You guys are working on this. I read this in Runner's World. You're working on creating a community center focused on all around type of fitness, promoting healthy lifestyles. Is this true? Is this what is going to be next for We Off the Couch?
Yes, absolutely. So we've gone from just a running club to a nonprofit. Recently in September we officially became a 501(c), and we why did we do that instead of just becoming an LLC? Because it's not all about the money for us. It's not about the money at all, actually. For us, do we need money to function? Yes, but it's better for us to be able to help our community if folks are willing to donate and folks are willing to come alongside and see what the vision is, right, and see how we can help each other accomplish things. So we've been living here in our neighborhood for 30 plus years, and there's no grocery store. There's no access to real fresh foods, but there's access to everything unhealthy. There's access to things, that help give us diabetes, that help, produce certain cancers and different things like that. So we desire to open up a place that's a safe haven for all. That's a safe haven for the community, right? That has what is it? A food garden out back, and that has a food pantry, and access to fresh juice,
smoothie bar. Like that's something that I'm passionate about. So I would love to share that with the community, and just education on, healthy meals and meal prep and things like that, strength training, biking, just the whole bit. Like
things that upper middle class or people take for granted, probably.
For free.
Right.
Do it for free.
Yeah.
Because it's what's needed. And people are struggling people are dealing with things. People are having a hard go at life. I think we've seen a lot of that with the pandemic, and we just want to be, hey, we're here. The light
Yep.
is on. It's not donuts today, but the light is on. Come through. How can we help? So and essentially a place, and it's not just for adults. Like we were talking about kids. We want everybody there. We want everybody to be there. So, and we desire it to be right in the middle of the inner city.
All right.
where
So
we're from.
Julie and I
Yeah.
will be there for a run. When do you guys meet? And when can our listeners show up for a run?
So right now we meet Sunday morning at 10 a.m. For 2 mile beginners run, and then we meet directly after at 10:45 Sunday morning for intermediate run, which is anywhere from a 5 to 7 mile run. And then Wednesday nights we meet at 5:30, and we normally run through our city through all the lights, and sometimes we do trails at night as well. So yeah, we just have fun.
And where can we find you guys? Is there a website or social media where we can find you?
Yep. So you can find us right now on all social media. Well, at Instagram. What is it? TikTok. I just joined the TikTok because everybody's
There you
telling me
go,
I need to do
buddy.
TikTok. And Facebook at We Off the Couch, and you can also find us on Strava.
Yeah, Strava is where we post the locations because we like to switch it up week to week to kind of give everybody that access and exposure to parts of the city you would normally, get to see just driving through.
Right.
So
Right. So one of our runners, I think he's 70, and he says when you running with rocking tear, you might not know if you're over a bridge, under a bridge, or through the woods. To grandma's house we go. So we just pick it up.
All right, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. We're gonna see you
Absolutely.
guys at one of these
Awesome.
runs. You guys are doing
Awesome.
amazing stuff. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. Really
Thank
appreciate.
you.
You got 4 kids, so for the listeners and the viewers, they're in the same place now, magically through Chris's editing, because one of their kids was knocking on the door, and so so they had to consolidate to one spot. But thank you guys for making the time with all that you got going on. Really appreciate what you're doing, and we can't wait to be a part of your future, however we can be.
thank you all so much.
Thank you guys. It means a ton.
We look forward to it. All right, Anthony and Tara Clary, they are from We Off the Couch. We are Pace the Nation. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after this.
Pace the Nation is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks again to Anthony and Tara Clary for joining us today on Pace the Nation. They are from We Off the Couch, and if you're a viewer of us on the YouTube channel that we have, the Pace the Nation YouTube channel, you saw some video clips of their groups running from a local Richmond station. So you could find them. There was a really cool Runner's World article, a really cool video from that the local Richmond station did, that Chris put in the video there as kind of B-roll. So inspiring group. I wasn't lying, Julie. Both of them, they are like, we talk to a lot of people, but they are doing it. They're out there actually. They are doing things and making a huge difference in their community, which is just inspiring.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, I don't know how you can come off that interview and not just love the two of them and what they're doing and want to jump out and support. And I don't know if I can get to that intermediate run group stage. I might have to be part of the 10 o'clock crew getting out there if we do end up getting down there for a run, which I hope we do. But
We definitely will.
yeah, and excited to share information as they fundraise and really bring that dream to life of creating a community center and in any way that we and our fans can support. So
Yep.
super cool. And thanks to them for sharing their story today. I mean, it's their journey, and it's hard and it's beautiful, and what they're doing now is just inspiring people. And I think
Yep.
that's just I mean, what more can you do? What more can you do in this life, right?
And
Than
and
try
and
to
I was
bring
talking
good.
to and I was talking to Anthony yesterday about, I mean, he's saying, he was saying that there's communities like this that exist in DC and everywhere across the country.
Yeah.
And he
Run
won't, and
crews are becoming not becoming, they've been popping up all over, but yeah, I mean theirs is just a special example of that.
yep, no doubt. So we will, we'll tweet out all the particulars of where to find them and, some links that would be interesting for some of our listeners and viewers to see. All right. So, Julie, I know you got to get out of here. But I had a very proud moment this past week that I just wanted to touch on real quick. Our loyal listeners know a couple things about me. They know my passion for the Washington football team. They also know that I'm trying to get sponsored by Miller Lite,
Mm.
you know? And that is a lifelong goal of mine, to be sponsored by Miller Lite. And
Well, you need to increase your influencer profile. You got to have more
no,
than like 1,000 followers or
that's
500
true.
followers. So
Or 300.
to
Yeah.
gain sponsorship,
So,
but you're on your
so,
way.
so, so, we'll have a couple beers a week, or, whatever it is, you and I socially,
Don't
less than,
associate me with Miller Lite. I'm
well, that's
not.
true.
That's
We
that's
used
not my jam.
we used to be able to have a beer or two or a glass of wine together. That doesn't really happen. We touched on earlier, we don't really communicate. So, but if I do drink, it's going to be Miller Lite. So the other day, our 3-year-old went into the pantry and he pulled out a Miller Lite and he went over and he said, "Daddy, this is yours." And he handed it to me. And I said, "Wow, son, that is amazing." You are, I mean, and so I tweeted it out and I got more interaction on Twitter than anything I've done in the last couple months. That there are a couple people were like, "Oh, great that you've taught him to bring you a water," or "I love Miller Lite," or
I don't know if I
or
saw any of those tweets. I don't think anyone was siding
saying
with you on that one.
that they love Miller Lite. No, there is a lot of Miller Lite fans, or there's a lot of people who don't want to admit they are Miller Lite fans. So,
Okay.
anyway, so Miller Lite, if you're listening, I am sponsor free. So,
Great.
my son.
I'm glad you brought this up so that we are having this amazing conversation about
I
making
didn't,
real impact in people's lives in the community,
I didn't
right?
think about that.
Changing
Probably not my.
lives. And you're talking about training your 3-year-old to bring daddy's favorite beverage
You know
over.
what? I had it on the
Classic
outline.
Chris
I
Farley.
had
Classic.
it on the outline, so I was going to crowbar it in here. Oh man,
Sigh.
it's a Pace the Nation staple. So, anyways,
It is. You're
all right,
continuing on your path,
I
You'll
am.
probably gain one more follower after this show
I
and
am.
get one follower closer to that
I
influencer
am. I
sponsorship.
am shamelessly trying to get an influencer deal with Miller Lite. All right, Julie. I know this was your doing to set us up for this interview. Thank you. You've done a great job of setting up these past couple interviews. I
I'm
got the
carrying
next
the
one.
show.
I
I
got the
mean,
next one. I got the next one. We've
I'm
got
I'm
some more.
I'm carrying the
You
show.
are. We've got some more exciting
I don't even
content.
know what you do here, so
We've got some really exciting content coming up. All right. Well, thanks to our guy Chris behind the scenes for all his awesome production work, and John on the music. And mostly thanks to our guest. Check them out. We Off the Couch. It's Anthony and Tara Cleary, who are doing amazing things in Richmond, and we will definitely be following their progress. Appreciate them taking the time today. All right, Julie, great show.
great show.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm Chris Farley. That's Julie Culley. This is Pace the Nation. We'll see you next time.